Hello, friends. I'm coming to you from my home in Lake Wylie, South Carolina, and I'm continuing my series on creating a vision for your life and your business. And this is the concluding segment in this series. In future series, I'll be addressing setting goals. But today, I want to address one last topic in the series on creating a vision for your life. And the theme for this segment is expect the valleys. Expect the valleys when you are pursuing your vision. And there are three key topics or subtopics that I want to invite you to consider as you continue to draw out a vision for your life or for your business or both. The first is that it's important to remember that this is your vision. It's not your mama's vision. It's not your papa's vision. It's not your sister or brother's vision. It's not the vision of your friends or other people that you know. It depends on how bold your vision is, but most people are not equipped to see or understand your vision because after all, it is your vision. It is your dream for your life and for your business. And it's something that does not exist yet. It's something that does not exist presently. So it's unrealistic to expect someone else who doesn't share your vision, who wasn't given your vision, to actually see the vision. Now, I am not suggesting that at no time that you will find someone who, doesn't buy in. It's quite possible that you may come across an open-minded person, a person who has a broad outlook on the world, who may be able to join you in seeing this vision. But don't expect friends and family to see it. In fact, most of the people that you share your vision with are probably dream stealers. They're not in the world for the world. They're not in the world for the masses. They're in the world for themselves. They're in the world to make a living. They're in the world to go to work in the morning, to earn a paycheck. They're not in the world of building people. They're not in the world of building businesses. So it's unrealistic to expect them to have the ability to get into a vision with you, something that you cannot see and something that they cannot see, and expect them to buy in. Now, I want to say once again that a vision is really a dream. And that's as if you had a dream one night and you invite someone to enter into your dream as you retell it and expect them to see what you see. That's not possible. So don't expect others to see your dream. Don't expect others to embrace your vision. It's possible you may encounter people who do it. I like to tell stories from either my experience or the experiences of others. I wrote this book a few years back about Ohio, the state of Ohio during the 19th century. And in it, I tell the story about a young woman, a woman of African ancestry who was held in slavery in Kentucky, who had a dream of becoming free. Her name was Mathilda Lawrence. Now, we don't know the backstory, but I could imagine Mathilda as a young girl telling other girls or other people that she associated with, that she confided in, that she wanted to become free. And I could imagine the snickers of her peers, kids becoming free. How can you become free? The owner will not allow us to become free. The legal system is against us. And they were right. The odds of Mathilda becoming free as a kid was almost nil. But anyway, it was as if the universe spoke. And circumstances arose whereby the owner of Mathilda, the owner on the Missouri law, of course, wanted to go to the north, and he took Mathilda with him. You know, they traveled to New York, and then they traveled to Ohio, and the captain of the ship, when they were sailing down the Ohio River, decided to stop in Ohio so that his passengers could, stretch their legs and get refreshments. And Mathilda, just a teenage girl, maybe 15 years of age, left the boat and went to the dock just to observe the city that she was in, Cincinnati. She knew nothing about Ohio's history. She didn't know that Ohio was a free state or anything like that. She was just leaving the boat just to stretch and just to relax for a moment before the captain continued on their journey. And then some African-American men saw her standing near the dock, and they beckoned her to come toward them. They understood that they were in a free state, and they wanted to tell this woman that she was free because she was in Ohio. So Mathilda saw them and went toward them, and then they left the area and went into the city of Cincinnati. The slave owner continued on to his journey, but left some slave catchers in the area to try to find her. But for about 3 or 4 years, Mathilda lived as a free woman. She got a job, in the law office of James Burney, when she also took care of his house, and life was good for her for just about 4 years. She was eventually captured, eventually taken back into slavery. But one thing is for sure, she had an experience that none of the friends that she once had understood, and that is what it was like to live as a free woman. And she had that experience. So your vision is yours. Your vision doesn't belong to anyone else. Your vision is your dream. Don't expect other people to see it. Number 2, the second thing that I think is important to recognize is that it takes time for your vision to materialize. Now, this is not a goal. Once again, we'll talk about goals a little later. We're talking about a dream that you have for your life, a dream not only for you, but a dream that may be impactful to other people around you. And who knows, you may be the one to be so impactful you could actually change the world. A dream can be just that, impactful upon the planet in which we live. So you never know whether you are the one or not. So the second thing to consider then is to give yourself time for your vision to materialize. There are 2 stories that I want to share with you. One is told by Earl Nightingale, the great 20th century orator. And he told the story about a gold miner who lived in some African country. He did not identify the country to my recollection. And this miner would go into the mine and each day be chipping away for gold for hours and hours and hours on the day. It was hard, laborious work. And after a period of time, we don't know, but let's attach a time to it. Let's say after 10 months of digging, this miner was fatigued and he gave up. He left the mine for good. Earl Nightingale said that this miner was only 3 inches from hitting the mother lode. Someone else came into the mine after him. The miner had been long gone. And this second person started chipping away. And within 24 hours, he had struck gold. Had that original miner stuck it out, he would have hit the mother lode, and he would have realized his vision of harvesting the gold from that mine. Give yourself time for your vision to materialize. A vision, unlike a goal, may take years, may take decades to materialize, depending on how bold it is. But since you are enjoying your vision now, you are enjoying your work now, it doesn't matter if it takes 20 years to materialize. It doesn't even matter if you die while pursuing your vision, because you're not waiting to live life until your vision materializes. You are living your life now, as we've discussed on another video. There's another story that I would like to tell you about an individual who had a vision for his life, who had a bold vision for his life that others might not have believed in. His name is Booker T. Washington. You may recall that name from your social studies classes or from your history classes. Booker T. Washington, as a child, maybe before he was 10 years old, was ordered by the slave owner to take the books of the slave owner's daughter to school as she went to school. Little Booker, day after day, would take the child's books to the classroom door and then give her the books and turn around and go home. And he later in life wrote into his first autobiography that seeing that schoolhouse was like seeing paradise. If he could get into that schoolhouse, he said, it would have been like him getting into paradise himself. And there his vision was born. He wanted to learn to read. He wanted to learn to write. He wanted to make a difference in the world. And he understood that education was one of the best ways to do it. And it was during the 1850s at that time. 1860, the Civil War came. 1865, the Civil War ended. And it was not until after the Civil War that Booker T. Washington became a free man, as he matured in West Virginia, where he lived. He heard from another individual who had been traveling around, coming into West Virginia to teach Black people how to read and write, and Booker was one of his early pupils. And Booker learned that there was a school in Virginia, on the east coast of Virginia, in Hampton, that offered a curriculum that would admit Black Americans to become students. Booker T. Washington, we're not sure of his age, at least I'm not sure of his age, perhaps in his late teens now, decided to strike out to Virginia, Hampton, to see if he could enroll in that school. Now, he didn't have any money. He didn't have a horse. He had never been to Hampton before. Had he shared this with a lot of his friends, they would have talked him out of it. Man, are you crazy? Are you going to go to Hampton? How are you going to get there? How are you going to feed yourself along the way? Are you going to walk all the way? Booker T. Washington didn't know, but he said, I got to get to Hampton. Hampton is my destination because I want to get into that schoolhouse. And they said, well, how are you going to pay for it? Booker said, I don't know, but I just got to get to that schoolhouse. I got to get to Hampton Institute. So one day, I imagine early one morning, his mama probably gave him a little sack with a few pieces of bread in it and, just enough to get him on his way, kissed his son goodbye, and when Booker struck out for Hampton, Virginia. And he began to walk, and he began to walk. And somehow it was as if the universe conspired to send a kind person along who had a carriage. And he gave Booker a ride along the way. And as this person traveled on in a different direction, Booker continued his journey. And he would reach a city and get a temporary job and where he could, earn some money and get some sustenance, buy some sustenance for himself. And he then would continue along the way. And then he wrote it into his autobiography once that, one night he became so tired that he needed to sleep. He didn't have a bed to sleep in, but he saw a ditch along the side of the road. So he crawled into that ditch and took a nap to refresh himself. And the next day continued on his journey. And this is the way it went for a long period of time. But ultimately, he reached Hampton, where the institute was located. He found the schoolmaster, told him that he wanted to enroll in school, but he did not have any money. The man said, well, that's okay. You can enroll in school by day, work by night, and you can earn your credentials, your diploma. Young Booker was so excited. He worked his buns off. He worked hard in school. He excelled as a student, and then he got the attention of someone who could make a difference in his life. They saw how